have something for you.
Oh my god! Security! Security!
This station was your laboratory, and the experiment was a failure.
The outbreak can be contained.
Welcome everyone to the Quad Damage Podcast. I'm your host Robert, and joining me in my overly tight t-shirt today are my usual co-hosts Midnight Medium and Deadforge. And for today's episode, joining us to talk all things Prey 2017 is the return of Under the Mayo.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Mr. Shhkotsky of the Primordial Chronicles.
Hello.
And for the first time, a fellow beard grower, KingJiffyCoats.
Yeah, dude, it's actually not a beard. I pulled to include him.
I thought that was
Impressive.
I thought that was just my secret.
He's a big fan of Team America World Police.
Dude,
Oh, yeah.
greatest film ever made. I don't.
Oh my god.
So, I mean, he's still growing a beard. It's just not necessarily on his face.
Yeah, it's his ass.
I braid until it gets to a perfect length, and then I cut the braid, and then it has the perfect straightness, because otherwise it'd be way too straggly.
Yeah.
Kicking off the
Snarch
high
these
class content here on the
Oh,
Quad
of
Damage
course, yes.
Podcast.
The absolute best at all times, yes.
We're just trying to punch that monetization right in
Oh
the
my
dick and just
God.
be like, you know what? Who needs money?
Yeah,
Everybody needs a good fisting.
I literally have bleeping sound on my desktop just so it's for quick put into the edit.
Where's that one episode where I was just like, fuck, like right in the first 5 seconds? or
I think
something,
that
so.
was maybe our last episode or the episode before that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty recent.
But Deadforge, speaking of
Literally.
you, my man, yeah, without further ado, let's hand things over to you.
This guy?
This guy, yeah.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Fuck, it was broke. Okay.
That's why you use a Copenhagen can.
God damn, man, you started limp already.
Well, since I don't dip, never will. That shit ain't happening.
Good choice. Good choice.
Shit is nasty.
Oh, dude.
Are you ready? Let's
Get booming.
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 Yeah.
Nice one.
Let me just holster
dead-
them right back into my keyboard tray.
Sweet.
That's not where he's putting him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. I'm
No
like
one's-
a
no one's
first-person
plotting
shooter
timestamp.
protagonist. I just shove it up my ass.
Yeah.
That's the only way to do it.
So,
I mean, where do they put all those guns? I mean, come on,
Yeah.
Doom guy is. I mean, I've seen him in third person. He's not carrying any guns other than what's in his hands. So
Dude, he's the
either
king of
coming out of his
T-string.
ass
man
or
don't need a gun.
something. You know what I mean? So,
Unless he's got that little,
Just
Obviously-
that little bitch punch that he's got in Doom Eternal, where it's like he can't punch his way out of a wet paper bag, and that little bitch punch he's got.
That's like my favorite thing to argue with people about online is Doom Eternal's melee.
Oh.
Love it.
Yeah. I don't think you need Doom Eternal's melee, dude. I followed you on Twitter before I ever found your channel just because I was like, who the fuck is this guy fighting everybody? I love it.
Oh man, that punch is the best Doom melee weapon since the Doom 3 shotgun, and I stand by that.
Dude, fuck
Ew.
that shotgun.
I think Mayo has tackled every like big community. You got the like Devil May Cry people coming at you. You got the Doom
they were
people
the
coming
first.
at you. The Mortal Kombat people coming at. I mean, everybody's
The
coming
only
at you.
community
Well, I
that's
didn't even-
100% behind him is the RoboCop community. They're like,
Oh,
this
yeah.
guy's
I've got
on
the
Messiah.
RoboCop fans.
Oh, I didn't even know if the RoboCop video was any good after he posted it in that chat. Until I saw on Twitter people were mad at him. I'm like, well, that means it's a good video. Obviously. I gotta watch this shit.
Man, Mayo
obviously.
wouldn't be Mayo unless he was pissing people off, man. It's all part of
God,
the charm, yeah. But gentlemen, so
It's unfortunate, but yeah, that's the truth.
Mayo, so speaking of you guys then, this is the third time you've been on here, so why don't we just do a quick table round with you and Shhkotsky and KingJiffyCoats and just find
Sure.
out what you've been up to, what you've been playing. So just fill us in on what you've been doing since the last time you were here.
Well, I was just talking a bit, so why don't I throw it to Shhkotsky first?
Okay.
Not much has changed since the last podcast. I'm still working on the Scorn video, so yeah. The other video is still, being delayed because of some complications when it comes to the lead developer of that game that he's a bit busy man, and I think GDC is coming up, so, he's preparing for that, and I need to wait a bit more until I can kind of get him to, confess all of his sins. our, accomplishments.
I'm sure it's going to be worth it. Scorn is a fantastic looking but infuriating game, in my opinion.
Agreed. No game I need to play. Like, it's not something that I look at and I go, oh my god, it's the most magnetic thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm just being driven to it at all times. But it still looks like a fun, like, puzzler kind of game. You know what I mean?
I just played it for like the
little
fifth
bit of
time yesterday,
combat.
so
Yeah.
that's
The combat's all.
I played like the first
Vibes.
mission.
that's my opinion.
All about the
Yeah.
vibes.
Yeah. Mr. Jiffy.
Medium had a really good video on it, actually, like a pretty good in-depth take on it, which I enjoyed quite a bit. That was actually, I think I'd seen a couple videos on it, and it was either like, people were either just completely shitting on it, or they were completely blowing smoke up the developer's ass. It was like either one or the other. So Mediums was probably one of the few that I saw that was a must-see, because I knew he would be pretty... You lean a little bit more on the middle ground area of things. Like, you're not quite like, oh, this is just, like such a great thing, whatever. Like, you're quite in the middle ground, and I like that. Because I think it was just, that game was such a high profile thing for such a long time that a lot of people were like, okay, this is just amazing. And then other people were like, man, I'm playing this for the first time. I've never heard of it before. And like, it's just absolutely shit. So
Most people just wanted it to be a straight up shooter, I think.
I thought
which, I
that's
mean,
gonna work.
at one point in its development, I guess it wasn't it? Wasn't it more of a shooter at one point in its development or something?
Kind of tried to be a major.
Yeah.
What
I mean, it went through like 10 years of development or something.
Yeah.
So
Almost, yeah.
that seems to be. I did a video on it when it came out, and I was. I think I was pretty fair to it. Where I was like, I like it, but there's some issues, but it was cool.
yeah.
What I found a lot was a lot of people saying, actually, this game has been in development for a long time, and there's a lot of stuff that we thought was going to be in the game that's just not there. And so I can understand that if you're following a project for years, and when it comes out, it's not what you were told it was going to be, that could really affect your enjoyment of it, even if it does have something good to offer. And so if you're coming at it from just like, I'm just playing the game because someone told me to play it, you have a more pure experience of what it's actually offering, and that's kind of where I came from on it.
It's kind of
But I
similar,
totally
like,
get it.
no matter your opinion on the games, but it's a similar situation with games like Cyberpunk, Starfield, even Dead Island 2 and stuff that have been in development for like very long periods of time.
Postal 3. Postal 3 has that. I actually played Postal 3 recent. I downloaded it off of the Zoom platform. I didn't like get a key or anything. That I got it off Zoom platform. I only had the game crash on me once. Ended up really enjoying the game. And a lot of the stuff that I'd seen in videos on the Zoom platform version was fixed. So I'm playing through this game just like, yeah, is it as good as Postal 2 and 4? No. But is it still got some decent jokes and some shit? Yeah, dude. It's like not as... I went in expecting to just have something that I could crap on like Daikatana, and I had a blast with it, even if it's stupid. Which... I know when I dropped that video.
Yeah, I've never played a single Postal game, and I still have... little to no interest in playing any of them other than the one that's a lot like Eternal.
Yeah.
Brain Damage.
Brain Damage is fun.
They just look
like
far
Brain Damage.
too off the wall, really. I think, like Cruelty Squad or something, you really gotta be into that taste of type of game to get into it.
Cruelty
Honestly,
Squad is such a weird thing. It's been highly
Postman
recommended to
too,
me
right?
since it's like an immersive sim. But it looks like shit. It looks like an acid trip.
That is a
of
choice.
Vomit
That is an
everywhere. It's
intentional
like
choice.
it's like what you see during an acid trip, but vomited out all over everything.
Yeah.
And I don't. Not only can I not understand from watching it how the game functions, but I can't even understand the appeal of its visual style in any way whatsoever. Like I can't. There's nothing about this tells me like, oh man, I must play this, because it's like it just doesn't look good at all. Nothing about it looks. But everybody's like, oh my god, it's such a great immersive sim kind of game, and I'm like, that sounds great. It just looks like shit.
It reminded me of
Agreed.
Devil Daggers, and it was kind of difficult to see what was happening on screen, but everyone said that it was a great game.
I think Devil Daggers was something I looked into, and that was also something that I didn't like that much. I'm gonna double check, but I think that was something else that was like a weird game.
Love
That I
me
didn't
some
care
Devil
for.
Daggers, man.
Didn't they get a sequel?
So those are hard to compare, though. It's one's
Yeah,
like
Hyper
non-stop
Demon.
shit all over the screen. The other one like ugly as an intentional atmospheric choice.
Yeah.
Well, what I was going to say about the
No,
Postal,
no. Devil Daggers was not the game that I was thinking of.
So you just totally
that
shat
game
on
actually
it.
looks all right to me.
About to say that would be a interesting
Well,
comparison.
no, I didn't shit on it. I shat on Cruel
God, I hope
Squad
the dev
completely,
doesn't see
100%.
this.
That is 100% the game I was
So you're
talking
making my
about.
job really hard if you ever want to get that
I know,
motherfucker
yeah.
on anytime soon.
Yeah, but Devil Daggers, on the other hand, yeah, no, I've seen that. I was getting confused with something else, but the other game isn't coming to my mind. But no, Devil Daggers looks
Yeah.
interesting, but I've never played that one. I've only seen a little bit. I think I might have seen Mayo's video, actually. Did you make a
Yeah,
video on Devil Daggers?
yeah, I covered it like 2020.
Okay, yeah, I think I saw your video on it, possibly.
It's a good
Yeah.
game.
Cool. Well, guys, yeah, Mayo.
I was going to say.
Mayo, what have you been up to? Because we haven't chatted about Prey 2017 in any way so far. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't want to delay things too much, but obviously I'm back inspired by Doom with the new announcement. That stuff's going really well. I have a 3-hour TV series review video
Holy
coming
shit.
out this month. So, yeah,
yeah.
it's a classic TV series. I'm reviewing an entire first season all in one video. It's going to be 33 hours. So when that drops,
Is it Twin Peaks?
I'm not saying what it is.
Yeah.
But
That's all I need to hear.
But when it comes out, you're gonna go, what?
It's the first season of Roseanne.
Really?
It's-
And then you're gonna watch it.
it's Secret Diaries of a Call Girl.
It's something. It's something. It's very long.
He's reviewing Gilligan's Island.
Base.
I got it. I have 3 TV show series videos coming out like next month. I got burnt out in games around November, December. And I was like, I'm gonna do something else until I can rediscover my gaming love, which I'm back in it now. But I took.
I hope you can get around.
do TV
I
show
hope you
stuff.
can get around the copyright. Then this is one of the reasons why I stopped covering film and TV. Just every video was getting flagged
I got it
already. Jesus.
Well, I mean, I finished the first 3-hour video in November. It's been ready to publish, and it's been sitting there on my channel unlisted with no copyright flags for 2 months
Okay.
on the automated system.
That's good.
So,
Glorious.
I mean, as soon as it comes out, it might get flagged. I hope not. But, it seems... I seem to have discovered the secret. As long as you play clips and keep them under 5 seconds,
Mm-hmm.
and then if you have a scene where there's, like, a lot of things happening in a scene, if you cut up each edit and put them in a different order than they actually happen in the scene, and keep each clip under 5 seconds,
I
you're
heard
golden.
flipping the image
Also-
works as well.
I don't even play with that.
So, I actually I had an issue with this on my Reverend video that I just came out with because I had Clint Eastwood clips in it because
Hell Rider.
why not, dude? And I had the one clip where he shoots the guy at the end of Pale Rider, and no matter what I did, it seemed like I kept getting a strike, and I had it like privated so that I could see if it would happen. And it kept happening, and I literally put a smoke filter on top of it so everybody looks like they have smoke coming off of them, and that bypassed it, and I've been safe. But it's like 4 seconds, dude. It's not even like a long
weird,
thing.
yeah. I've never had a copyright, not a single one on anything that's like 7 seconds or less, whether it be music or any kind of like video clips. Because I think I used a Clint Eastwood clip for my Evil West. Was it Evil? No. I think it was It was either Evil West or Borderlands video that I did that I used one, and I don't know. It's a weird thing that something like a 4-second clip would get any kind of copyright. It's really weird. Unless it's just something
just like
specific
if you use
about
it,
the scene.
the bots will come for you. It's
Yeah,
really
like certain
dependent.
scenes
Each one's
just get
different.
like flagged instantly.
Yeah, and
even
I
if
guess
they're, like,
it also
2
depends on
seconds.
the movie and stuff too, because different movies have different like rights owners and so on, and some of them like care more than others. And then certain movies and stuff like fall under a category because they're like so old that they don't really care about them anymore. Like they're not even being produced or anything, so they don't really care. There's a lot of
It
weird
was
stuff
funny.
like that.
Well, I just put
How-
up that Ghost in the Shell RoboCop video, and I had no copyright issues because I just know how to edit it around it at this point.
It's probably because
Yeah, I know you can distort voices of like the actors and stuff quite a bit. You can like mess with the filter on it and a bunch of things like that you can easily get around it, because then technically it's like been modified, so it's not the same thing. Because I think that's a lot of what like movie copyright and TV show copyright is because of it's like you're just taking it and putting it on there, even though you're talking over it. It's not the same as like,
And just
I
always
guess the way it works for like if
just
you take a
flip the
clip from a
clips.
YouTube video.
I agree.
Yeah, like if you take a clip from someone else's YouTube video and you talk over it, technically that's okay. Most people don't like try to say, how dare you? There has been some cases of that, but it's pretty rare typically.
Oh, cool.
Want to support your favorite Boomer Shooter podcast? Well, tough luck, because we're all you've got. Visit the Quad Damage affiliate store for the most bangin', most boomin', most please give us your money stores on the internet. Well, Amazon anyway. Only available in the US because we're too lazy to set it up for any other country.
I have something for you.
So the rapid fire round then.
I'm prepared with a vague memory.
Yeah. I've honestly I've never played Prey 2017. Never played it. So going into this episode,
It's the proper response.
Did you just say don't?
Yeah, dude, game's
Listen. Listen.
See, that you found your enemy.
Loaded with a
Dude.
Nerf ball.
Dude,
okay?
I love balls. Just shoot them in my mouth. I'll take it all day, bro.
my God.
Dude, this is how I make my money at the strip club.
balls,
This is my
you just
value
throw-
game day.
Cool.
Okay.
So gentlemen, it's time for our
Teabagging has been around for decades. So what were you, like 3?
Hey, man, that crazy pastor.
Mother.
He's a time traveler.
Well, that took the wind out of the sails there. Okay.
yeah. So rapid fire rounds.
Anyway, whatever we want to go to next, Robert.
Our guests have around 1 minute to answer 5. Well, no, it's not going to be 5 questions each. It's 4 questions each now. Given to us from a random question generator, including the trick question that we added.
All right, let me scan this real quick because I may have an instinct who will give us the answers we
I
decide.
already know what you're going to choose. As soon as I wrote it on the
What's that? That didn't sound like it came out of the top end of your body.
Yeah, bro's queefing over there.
All right, I got it. Shhkotsky, good
There'll be a lot
sir.
of disclaimers for this
Chronicler
episode. I
of
think.
Primordial Thing. I've got 4 questions for you, Mr. Shhkotsky. The first of
I'm
which
ready.
is, what or who are you always willing to make time for?
Family.
And why haven't you done it yet?
Oh.
These rapid fire questions. Calm down.
Oh my God.
Bro went to get the
I
milk.
mean, I
I'm just
I
the messenger.
did. We went to see the movies today,
Yes.
so
That's right. You got to see, what was it?
The Brutalist.
Yeah, nice.
How was that?
Pretty nice, yeah. Not a masterpiece,
Yeah.
but
Last movie I watched was Gladiator 2. It was shit. I don't recommend it. Next question.
oh yeah, that movie is awful. Yeah.
Ridley Scott either makes perfect 100s or like 30 out of 100s.
He needs to
Or
stop.
zeros. Yeah, he needs to stop.
He is.
Definitely.
He
Or the
is,
weird Halo movie
I'm
where they
so
sit in a
sorry.
hole the whole time and you can't figure out if it's good or bad or what you're even watching. You never saw that? You guys don't know about that weird Halo movie that was directly DVD that Ridley Scott produced?
No.
So it stars the guy who plays Locke, and the whole movie's about Locke getting stuck in a hole with somebody else, and they talk the whole movie.
Existential.
Oh, absolutely riveting.
Well, actually, I feel like I remember that because it
It's
came
not
out.
terrible.
It came out right before Halo 5 came out, right?
Me
Yeah,
and my
yeah,
buddy
yeah.
in high school bought it because we were like, what the fuck, there's a Halo movie? And we bought it, and we
Yeah.
watched it, and we're like, honestly, not the worst thing I've seen, because it kind of does what that movie Locke did with Tom Hardy, where it's
Yeah.
the dialogue's decent enough.
Yeah, he's in the
but
car the whole time, kind of thing. Yeah.
It wasn't terrible, but it was just like you fucking got Halo, and you're like, I'm gonna put the guy who plays Luke Cage in a hole.
I mean, that's kind of how. What's that movie? Pontypool. Have you ever seen that?
Panties?
It's kind of like the way that movie works in a way because
I've seen that one.
That's actually a really. It's actually a really cool movie. I'll make it short, but it's a really cool movie. It's basically like where a virus is spread through your voice. It's kind of complicated, but it's like a radio show host. They're in the station like the whole time. And it's a whole thing. It's really. I would recommend checking it out. It's like I think you can rent it or something like that. I don't think it's streaming anywhere. But anyway, back to this thing.
Yes. Question number 3. I think I know what the answer I think I know what the answer is not going to be. What's the most recent interesting conversation that you've...
Not this one. No, I'm sorry.
All right. That was a layup. You dunked it right through. You're good.
The most interesting.
Mission accomplished.
Jesus, no idea. Well,
Maybe something on
do we?
Nick's server. Did you talk about any movies, game themes?
I mean, I have some nice conversations with Blondie. Like
Oh, yeah.
he always kind of manages to surprise me with like how much he can say in like 5 seconds about anything that is Stalker related. So because of being kind of into Stalker 2 for a few months now, he was like kind of feeding me a lot of interesting things that I sometimes knew and mostly didn't. So I guess that could count. Shout out to Hey Blondie.
I know, right? He's been my oracle on Stalker 2 as well. Just like as like photographic memory, I'll be like, that quest, oh yeah, that's at 40 hours in. I can tell you what to do there.
Yeah,
There's actually
he's the
branching
first person I
choices.
talked
If you want to
to
go
when I
this way, you can go that way, or
thinking about buying the games.
He convinced me to buy Dead West, and I'm fucking awful at that game. And every time I turn it on, I just hate myself for buying it because I'm so bad at it.
Is it Blood West?
Blood West. You're right. You're right. Blood West.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good game.
Here's the thing. I like Blood West, but it's like a weird stalker meets thief kind of game, and I just haven't really like took the time to like get invested in it to like really learn. Yeah, Dark Souls, my ass.
Dark Souls.
It's literally. It's like one of those games though that you have to sit down and you kind of have to learn how the game is played to be able to play it properly. So it's it's much like Stalker
Like a
in that
lot
way.
of games.
Or shit, I would even say something like Prey 2017. It's one of those things where you have to play the game the way like you gotta learn how it functions to be able to play it. Or Scorn, yeah. But it's just one of those things. It's like when I've been playing Ninja Gaiden 2 Black recently. It's one of those things that you gotta only like you're able to play it, but you gotta like really play the game like the way the game wants you to play it in a sense to be able to. You can't just sit down and try to play Ninja Gaiden like you're playing God of War. It's just not the same thing.
Well, you can if you're a dumbass like me. You just keep hitting the buttons until you succeed.
Yeah, I was watching.
Yeah,
I was watching.
I mean, if you're playing on anything above normal, that won't work.
Yeah.
No, it will not.
I was in one of my Proxidus live streams recently, and he just kept falling off ledges, and we were making fun of him for it. It's such an infuriating game.
Dude, I remember playing Ninja Gaiden 2 on the 360, and it was a dock fight really early on, and I just kept taking the difficulty down one time after every death, and I just could not do it. I mean, I was just getting killed in 10 seconds on the easiest it would get.
Well, apparently, we just we just learned that being able to lower difficulties means your game design is woke.
Oh yes, woke.
Oh, that was so gay. That was so lame, dude.
It was blatant rage bait. Come on, man. No one is stupid enough to think that. It's just,
you don't understand.
Incorrect.
I watched Ben Shapiro's The Batman review. There are people dumb enough to believe that. I almost lost, dude. I've been in like negative 15-degree weather where I have inverted because it's so cold, dude. I was like fully touching my own internal organs with my penis because of how inverted I was watching the stupid ass The Batman review. It was awful. It was garbage. There was people dumb enough to say, "Oh, a slider is woke." I mean, there's people dumb enough to make everything racist, so there's people dumb enough to make everything woke. Yeah. I mean, it goes both ways.
Yeah. Cool. So, yeah.
Okay.
You're not wrong. Question 4, medium.
Yes. All right, gentlemen.
4. No. Okay.
What do you see happening in your future?
The future? Okay, that didn't
Visually,
work.
what do you see?
Okay. I don't know. Starting a family, I suppose, like a real family.
A real family.
And,
well, like a.
I mean,
like he's surrounded by Pinocchios right now. They're not real boys.
We know what he's doing with those dolls.
Oh, Robert, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I remember the last time you were on here.
We're supposed to get married in like a year or two, so I guess that's something that's coming up.
One of the questions we asked you last time here was something life-changing, was something like that, and your answer was, what's that dating app that's popular now? Tinder. That was your question.
Now. Like it came out yesterday.
That's the woman that I'm going to marry.
Yes.
So
I met my
hell yeah, dude.
I met my partner on a
Tinder
dating app as well. Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
Sometimes it works.
Bumble.
Yeah.
I met mine at a Waffle House.
Embrace modernity.
Did you fight her? Did you fight her when you won?
No.
Dude, he fought her. They got in a fist fight at Waffle House, and then when he won, she won right to marry her.
What?
Okay, so anyway, so moving on then, question 5 for our next guest.
Alrighty. Question packet number 2.
I hope I don't get
All right,
those.
I mean,
questions.
Now,
That is
just
the only
remember,
place
because
in
you
the
are
South where you actually have duels.
you are the meat
Yeah.
of the sandwich. We're going to get to the mayo just underneath you, which is
I like
So-
when the mayo drops on me, though.
I don't like this intro.
Yeah, you dripping with mayo.
Dude, I love
Almighty.
you, sauced eggs.
I love
all right,
mayo.
Mr. Jiffy.
I mean, like,
How well do you
actual
trust your
mayo.
gut feelings?
I don't trust it at all because I haven't had a solid poop in like 10 years.
Is that my question?
No. No, it was supposed to be. Since Jiffy's in the middle, he's the middle of questions. We're going to try to keep them briefer rather than longer. And I was just
Yes,
thinking
yes,
it's a dumb
let's-
pun once I thought that we were doing a sandwich metaphor and it just came. So,
Let's keep the answer short and sweet.
so yeah. Yes. All right. Would you prefer to leave your hometown and never come back, or stay in your hometown and never be able to leave?
Who's this for? Jiffy?
Jiffy.
Oh, dude, I fucking dipped that place so fast, dude. It was cold. It was sad. I was like, bro, I don't want to end up in a gold mine just being like all covered in like cum lung or whatever it's called. Coal miner's lung, whatever it is. I don't know. Black lung. The lung that is black. Yeah, dude. I didn't want to be a miner. Not that there's anything wrong with miners. They do a lot for us, whatever. But yeah, I didn't want to do that. So I left. I went from to the opposite side of the country where I can wrestle alligators.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, cum lung. I mean coal lung.
That is, that's what I heard
Black
as well.
lung,
It's totally the
Yeah,
same
dude,
thing.
I mean, if you're coughing shit up, it's pretty much the same thing.
just bad lungs.
I've got the black lung pot. Alrighty. What do you believe is the biggest thing that's currently holding you back from success besides coming up with cum lung?
I don't think there's anything holding me back, to be honest. I just keep shitting shit out into the algorithm, and then one day somebody's gonna hear the right sex joke. It's gonna be posted across everything. Either they'll try to cancel me or do whatever, and it'll be a success for me at the end of the day because like you can turn anything into a win. Look at the Hawk Tua girl; she got a podcast out of a terrible joke.
You'll have your In Defense of Marauders moment, no doubt.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it, dude. I have a Postal 3 is good video coming out eventually, so and a Half-Life is bad video coming out, so like.
Oh, hornet nest third.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for all the nerds to just like slow jerk angrily to one of my videos. So it's just about time.
You should do it. You should do it the way that I did my Sekiro video and make it the first half of it about Half-Life, and then just switch to Postal 3 and commit to it for the
Yeah,
entire rest
Sam.
of the video.
Yeah, it is
Okay.
it's not going to come out for like a month or 2 months. My Half-Life video, but I actually downloaded the Doom mod for that makes Doom Half-Life, and the mod crashed. So I thought it'd be funny if I was shitting on Half-Life first, and this is before I started playing Half-Life. And I was just shitting on it, and then like I have this overly sexualized Cortana that like basically talks shit to me in my videos, and she's telling me I'm a
Shocking.
fucking idiot and stuff. And I was like, yeah, dude, this game sucks. And then I played the game, and it fucking sucked. And I was like, wow, dude, my joke's not landing because I was doing the opposite of what everybody else does. Start with the shitty version and then actually go to the good. Did not work out that way. I just sound like a bitchy boy.
Okay.
Usually you've got to hook them and make them think that you are a normal, rational person, and just lay it on them with the hotness at the end and see how they respond now that you've ingratiated yourself to them. It's unfortunately the only.
All right, let's
girl
try to get through
in your
this and we
way
can
to
talk some prey.
Oh, now we want to get to prey. Okay. Earlier it was too fast.
Typical
All right.
Deadforge.
What part of the human face do you look at when you talk to someone?
Their throat. Wait, no. Lips, mouth, eyes.
Huh.
Ears.
Stare at
Mischief
their throat.
managed. You're a
Mission
nightmare.
accomplished.
That's true. But I'm glad I woke up to you. What?
He stares at the back of their throat. He stands behind them.
Yeah, dude. I actually drill a hole real quick and just look through it.
That's interesting.
X-ray for your eyes.
Dude, I have a lot of friends now, and they just keep falling over after the drilling. I don't know why.
As long as you keep them in the
Basement.
closet, we'll be fine.
Oh no.
Mr. Mayo,
Yes.
if you're still with us and able to.
Well,
able to
I
deal.
mean, I'm regretting it by the minute, but I'm here.
That's what you should. If Doom the Dark Ages disappoints you, God forbid, will you still continue to tell people it's great?
I refuse to accept that this is an automatically generated question.
Even if it was, it's still the section of 4 that I chose to give you for the exact reason of just the topic. So I figured it'd be fun either way.
It's actually a really interesting question because I don't think the next Doom game can emotionally impact me the way that Eternal did, and I think it's going to be that way for a lot of us. It came out in the beginning of a pandemic. It saved a lot of people's sort of emotional situation. It was, I mean, arguably a very revolutionary game that inspired a genre of shooters. It inspired a lot of design discussion. It created a whole community. It made friends. I think no matter how good the Dark Ages is, I don't know if there's a way that I could possibly love it more. And that's okay. That's okay. Like, I look at it as like your favorite band. You know, I've got my favorite albums, but I also have albums from those bands that have come out after that I don't love as much, but I still want to hear those songs live. Yeah, you know what I mean? And that's how I'm kind of expecting to go into Dark Ages, and that I'm probably gonna love it. But it may not reach that height, and that doesn't mean I'm not going to let that get to me. So I'm not going to say that's a disappointment, but because I don't need it to be better. But if it is a game where I'm like, you know, it's cool, but I don't really love it, I mean, which is entirely possible, I'll just be honest about that. I don't need to make a bunch of videos about it. I don't need to be disingenuous about how I feel about it.
Like Midnight and say this is illegal or something on your thumbnail or some shit.
Look, I'm no shade to Midnight. Midnight's a friend of mine. But I'll give it to you how I feel about it. I'll give it the time I think it deserves. I see it differently than I do most developers because they seem to have a philosophy that they're pushing forward with. And I don't think a whole lot of studios do that. I mean, you say FromSoft does it. You say, you know, others do. You know, Capcom with Street Fighter, of course. But I want to give them the benefit of the doubt, and we'll see how it goes.
Sweet.
That was a pretty good answer. You ever thought about like writing any videos or doing something like that? You might.
Before the game comes out, before it comes out, I'm gonna do a video that is like specifically kind of talking about what my mental state is going into the next game.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool. Well, if you're raining outside and you don't have access to Doom: The Dark Ages, let's say, what activity do you most want to do?
If I don't have access to the next Doom game, what outside activity do I want to do? What is that question?
If it's raining outside, what activity do you most want to do? Which presumably is inside, but it could be outside too, I guess.
If it's raining outside, what activity do I most want to do? Depending on the strength of the rain, I do actually like walking out in the rain.
Same.
But on a rainy night, you know, that's a great question. But I don't know, maybe have a drink and just put on some old Best of the Worst from Red Letter Media and get in bed and just chill. Or, you know, if you have some company to stay the night with you while it's raining outside, even better. So Smash. My Smash is my answer. And not the game.
Yes. Bit Netflix and chill.
Yeah, we know.
Alrighty. What do you wish you had learned 5 years before you actually learned it?
Oh, Jesus. Save as much money as you can. Save as much money as you can while you're really like young and healthy and you got the future ahead of you.
Yeah.
Put it away. Don't spend it on a bunch of stupid shit in your 20s.
As a guy in his mid-40s, I can say that is very, very good advice. Don't get to my age and finally get a good income and think, why the fuck didn't I do this 20 years ago? Put your goddamn money away.
Yeah. Put it away. Put it away. You don't have to buy your friends chicken wings every Friday night. There was one more,
one more.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Alrighty. What do you wish you had more talent doing?
Well, I'm sure a whole lot of people could answer that for me. But what I wish I had a lot more talent doing, I would say my decision making under pressure. I'm fairly panicky, so if I get in a high pressure situation in like a game I love and suddenly things are getting out of control, I kind of default to that, right? I kind of panic and all my skill and knowledge goes out the window. Or if I'm a tournament fighting game player and I go to a tournament and I've been practicing for months with all my execution and my theory, and then suddenly my plan goes to shit. And now I'm mashing down jab in a panic to try to get the guy away from me. And I wish I was better at under pressure decision making, and I wish I had better reaction speed.
Yeah, I can empathize with that. You should hear some of my intros in this podcast where I just sit there and I can't, like, I have to read stuff in my head. Like, I read a script, I just start saying shit, and I'm like, I don't even know where I am anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm looking straight here and not looking at the script because my camera's like above my screen and everything.
I totally agree.
full-on
That's
panic
the only
mode.
way that I can do the script here. If I'm physically, you can see when I read the intros, I'm very awkward about it. It's because I'm rigidly sticking to the script, and if I have thought to deviate, my mind will blank and I'll just panic and I won't know how to wing it. I admire people that are able to do stuff like that. So
I think I'm probably the only one who can just pull an intro out of my ass, and I've done it on many occasions.
You know what talent I really do wish I had. I wish I could dance.
Really?
Yeah,
Nice.
I wish I could dance, man.
Ladies
Like
do
I
love to
love
dance.
going out. I really love going out, but I have not a coordinated bone in my body, and so I wish, even if it's something as like as simple as a wedding, you know, if you're on a date and your date wants to dance, I can't fucking dance, dude. I just can't.
Here's a guaranteed win move for you every time. I got taught this a long time ago. It's called the unload the gun. Bro.
Oh yeah.
Unload the gun. And you just bounce back and forth. And on the downbeat, every time you unload the gun, and you'll be, it's the new white man's overbite.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it'll get you. I mean, you just, every time that downbeat hits, you're over here. You're over here. You're over here. And like the louder the song gets, the higher you get, and then you won't look as stupid. I promise, dude. It's like an intro into making
bullshit
to the
or
club.
something, man.
Once you pop lock, dude, you're causing danger to other people instantly. I think Robert has like a stack of dead bodies from that move he just did. Just like accidentally kept club and dragging them into the hallway.
They got it on camera of me dancing at one of the work parties like 7 years ago or something, and I'm literally rolling around on the floor because I have a background in dance. You wouldn't think it to look at me at my age.
Oh, okay.
So when I dance, I'm like, I do it properly. I twirl and I roll around on the floor and stuff like that.
That's
but
great.
when you look at me doing it, you think, who is this fucking idiot that I'm looking at right now? Just
Mr. Shhkotsky, since you were one of our skeptics or less invested in the Prey of the 2017 variety, why don't you just give us a little rundown on kind of what turns you on about Prey 2006, maybe above 2017, or why 2017 doesn't quite do it for you?
This is where I say that I'm actually not that much of a skeptic of that title. It's just that I'm quite indifferent to it. And I think I talked about it with Deadforge before, but it's... One of my issues with that title is completely unrelated to it, and I'll get to it in a second. And the other, like, main issue that I had with Prey 2017, I just didn't find it all that memorable. Like, of course, you know, some people kind of really let it kind of, become one of their favorite sims of all time, and, you know, they really dig what it was doing. But for me, it was kind of, it felt, you know, like a conglomerate of a lot of elements, and not particularly like, maybe, I don't want to say bad elements, but it just does a lot of things. It just does everything that probably every other Simish title did before it, and that's probably the unique thing, that it actually does everything. But it's... When I think about Prey 2017, it's just kind of like this grayness that I see. It's like, you know, it's not a bad-looking game, but it's a game that I see the mimic. I see, you know, things that change back into mimics and back and forth, and that's what I see. And I see that trailer that I remember, you know, being kind of like really kind of confused by when I realized that the game was called what it was called, and like the trailer kind of, you know, spoiling the whole intro section. Like, one thing I can say is, if I never seen that trailer, maybe I would enjoy like the game more, because after, like, you know, you have one section where you just kind of, you know, realize that everything is fake, then you're prepared for the game to kind of like pull this shit again, and it obviously does. And I think story-wise, I kind of ruined the game for myself because of getting to that escape pod thing very early on because of using the glue gun and just, having that little cutscene that just tells you that it's basically a simulation. So, it's not a terrible game, and I never said it was terrible. It's just kind of, there.
That's what I have to ask. So you're saying it's terrible? I heard that.
No,
So you're
no,
saying
no.
it's boring. That's
And the other thing that's more important to me and completely unrelated to that game is just the title. Like, I'm notoriously a big fan of Prey 2006, and after watching the Prey 2017 documentary and many other videos of people that I guess agree with this notion of this title not even making sense for this game, because it's it's just a branding
Raphael
thing. Yeah,
doesn't like
it's
it. Never liked it.
it kind of I just kind of realized that if we ever get something that is actually Prey 2, a game I was actually excited for back in the day, it's never going to be the Prey 2 I wanted it to be. It's most likely going to be a thing that's either a direct sequel to this 2017 thing, or a reboot of that thing.
Even the planned Prey 2 was nothing to do with the first game. When you saw the trailer for the game,
It had some to do with it. It did have some to do with it.
It had elements. Tommy was in
And
it.
Mossy was supposed to pop
Right.
up.
Yeah.
It was just very end around, which is sort of unfortunate
Yeah.
considering how good that
It's just
ending
because they were
of the first
taking
one
what was already
So,
there and they were broadening it quite a bit and making this kind of
I thought
space-faring
it looked
universe.
fantastic.
Prey could
Such a shame that game got cancelled, and we all know the story with Human Head behind it. But I would have vastly preferred to have played that, because with Prey 2017, I said that I haven't played it. That's a white lie. I played half an hour of it, and like yourself, I was I'm not feeling the game. But then I saw the trailer for the space opera Prey, sequel, and I was like, that's the game I really would have liked to have played with the Prey title in it.
I think that both Prey 2006 and Prey 2017 sit in this spot where I don't think either of them will ever get a sequel, and neither of them need a sequel. And I mean this. I don't think Prey 2006 or 2017 need a sequel. I think alone as what they are, they achieve what they needed to achieve, and they finished it, they wrapped it up, and it's fantastic that way. Now, I would love to have had that original Prey 2. Yeah. I would love a sequel to Prey 2006. I would love a sequel to 2017. But here's the problem. A sequel to Prey 2006 at this point, you're not going to have Human Head. You're not going to have anybody who was involved with it. You're not going to have even a semblance of what was once there. They're just going to be like, hey, we need to make a boomer shooter, but it's kind of in space, but it's whatever, plus some portals in it, call it a day. Yeah. And with Prey 2017, there's no more Raphael, and that was a passion project of his. There's no Chris Avalon. There's no any of the heavy hitters that were there for Prey no longer are with Arcane. They are either gone because of Arcane Austin being shut down, or they're also gone because
all those guys actually left.
Half of Arcane Austin, left and helped Wrath create Wolfeye. A lot of those guys are in Wolfeye.
And the other ones, there was kind of they went to a couple different. There was Wolfeye the one that did Dead West?
Weird West.
Weird West, yeah, because I know most of them went after Prey 2017. Most of them left. That was one of the problems that I think a lot of people, and I'm not saying that Arcane Austin 100% deserved to get shut down, but a lot of the people that made Arcane Austin what it was gone, and then they were just kind of left with kind of a skeleton crew compared to what they had creatively, and that's why Redfall is just a completely creatively bankrupt game.
Well, Prey 2017 was the last outing for Raphael, and that was his company he created turned 18. He let it be its own thing. He left and focused on family and other things. And then he eventually came back to video games, created Wolfeye with a lot of people who he worked with at Arcane. But I think that Prey 2017 and 2006, they don't need sequels. And like I said with 2006, the Prey 2017, if they made a sequel, there's not Raphael, which I'm telling you is truly the heart and the soul of that entire company. From beginning to end, he is He was the visionary of that whole company. You know, like there's a lot of great people that work there, but like he was the visionary. He was the one who he was the head of creating Dishonored, of Prey, you know, Might and Magic. What was it? The one that I can't remember what it's called.
Dark Messiah.
I forget. Dark Messiah. And like all these, just every single one of them, it was all like his vision. The first one that was made without him was Dishonored 2, and he was kind of like since that was Arcane Leon making that one, and he was not in Leon, he was in Austin. He was like not really involved with it at all. He was just kind of like would see things occasionally, but he was not involved in any way whatsoever with that. But you know, with him gone, you lose that, and you lose a lot of other people and things like that. And then also with the way that 2017 ends, you would have to make it on Earth, right? It would have to go to Earth. And when you go to Earth, you lose everything that made Prey. Like, you lose everything that made that game what it is if you go to Earth. Because then if you go to Earth, you're going to have to make like a Half-Life game. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to have to make that kind of game. The only thing that could potentially be on Earth but have that kind of vibe, or you're making a Deus Ex game. Like, you're directly having to do one of these.
I want the Typhon to now mimic humans on Earth.
Do you think when the IP expires, they're just
but that would also that would completely defeat the purpose of the main character technically, and his uniqueness in that sequel.
Do you think they
if they did do that,
because the title to just some random game just to keep the IP again?
They're going to do that.
I would fucking hate that.
They've already done that once.
I would almost guarantee. Well, it would take a long time, right? Because it was like 10 years. It's like every 10 years or something, you have to like make something within 10 years to keep an IP. So that's why when they were literally about like they were pretty much almost done with Prey, and they were like, "Hey, you guys don't have a name yet. You want to use this name?" And he's like, you know, Raph's like, I mean, no, but then they're like, well, you know, you kind of have to because, you know, otherwise we're going to lose the IP. And then he's like, well, I guess it kind of can work. I mean, then he did those like interviews early on with like no clip and stuff before the game released, like the no clip sessions and stuff. And he was talking about like, well, you know, it kind of works because Prey are like whatever. And that was just like him trying to not get in trouble with the corporate people. And as soon as he left Arcane and got out from under Bethesda, he's like, yeah, it was the stupidest fucking shit that I've ever had to do in my life, basically.
Well, it's ironic that everybody says that was like the worst idea possible, and it may actually have been possibly the only reason it got noticed is if somebody thought it was a sequel.
Well, that's the thing; it didn't get noticed. That's the thing, though.
Well,
I mean, I know how
it's if the thought process goes that it could be, it's a possibility just as much as anything else.
Yeah, sure, but like the game never got noticed. That's until way later. Like, I know people are like, oh, but the game got like relatively good reviews. Yeah, I mean, it got like a fucking 7 out of 10 overall on like Metacritic. Like, it's deserved. It's like very low. And aside from his comment, which
it did deserve it. Okay. I've been really quiet. I just need to get something out here. Prey 2017 only does one goddamn thing right. Only one thing right, and it's immersive sim shit. Everything else it does goddamn wrong. And that's like, I commend it for doing the immersive shit really, really well. But the whole story is literally, this is a simulation. You break the window, then you spend 10 fucking hours reading logs from the fucking crew that mean nothing because it's all a fucking simulation. It is one of the goddamn worst tropes ever. It's fucking AIDS. It's like not a bad game.
Let's take it down just a little bit because my ears are about to fucking explode.
I apologize. I got really excited. I got really excited and really loud. I apologize.
All right, so aside from that, yeah, so before I address that, Prey did not get that much attention because when it came out, it got those very middling reviews. And as someone who did actually pre-order it, play it day one, knew what he was getting into, saw the really fucking terrible marketing that marketed the game as an FPS game, which it is not. It is not a shooter. The guns are tools. They're not fucking guns. Just going to say that. That's like number one thing you need to learn if you're going to play Prey and play it properly. So that's the thing though. And it didn't get that much attention because people like, okay, so it's an FPS. You have that group. Then you have the group of people like, oh, it's another Prey game. But then you're also like, oh, people are like, oh, it's an Arcane game. And so there's just this mass confusion of a game that is an immersive sim that already is the hardest thing to fucking market anyway. And that those games always fail 9 times out of 10. And technically it did well, but it did not meet sales expectations. It did not meet like corporate expectations. It was basically the first straw of 2 that would kill Arcane Austin, which the second being Redfall. I mean, it was already gonna Leon wouldn't be here if Deathloop wasn't such a by the numbers safe game. So
don't get me started on Deathloop.
Yeah, and and that's honestly the worst part. Like, the worst parts about Deathloop are because it's so cut and dry. It's like BioShock Infinite or something. Like, it's just so trimmed down to all the things that people like, but like there's not a lot of soul there that you would find in earlier games.
Yeah,
and then to address
the immersive sim out, didn't it? Took the
whole story thing that you were stating about Prey. Yeah, the main story of Prey doesn't exist. Like, there is no story. The game doesn't have a main story. The story isn't, hey, you're in a simulation. The story isn't, hey, there's fucking aliens on a station.
I want to say I don't necessarily. Okay, I don't know everything about Prey, but I don't think I disagree on Jiffy's analysis of the story, because I think that to say, oh, it's just a simulation and nothing mattered. I never got the sense. I mean, maybe I'm completely wrong. I never got the sense that everything that was between all the employees and all that stuff. I never got the sense that all of that was just made up for a simulation. I got the sense that this was an actual space station, real human space travel. They actually made this place. People worked on this ship, and then they used
all that happened.
They used the history of that ship to build the simulation for. So when you learn about all those relationships that people had, like I think Daniela was her name, the love story, the security stuff, the experiments, the history of space travel, all that stuff was real, but it was recreated to be used as a simulation. So I found it emotionally satisfying.
Well, but my problem with it, and what I'm still going to be the main issue, is it ruins all replayability for me. Because at the end of the day, none of the things you learned about any of those people, any of the lived and breathed and stuff, none of it matters because you had no part in it. You never existed in that world. You have no connection to that world. And the fact that
you did exist in the world.
You were not his brother. You're not his brother. You're one of the.
You're but it's the consciousness of Morgan.
Kind of. Yeah, I mean, it is inserted. You are right there. You are right. You are right with that. But it's not the same, dude. It's not the same. And my problem was, it was just such a bad. It's just one of those bad sci-fi tropes that you see a lot. That it's all a simulation. It's kind of like it's something I just wanted it to be more. I wanted it to be more at the end, and to really hit it with the same thing it hit me with the beginning, but with a twist on it. This isn't me coming at it from like I have like some allegiance to Prey 2006 or whatever. I played Prey 2017 first, and I just got to the end of it, and I was like, okay, why did I read every log? Why did I do this? And I'm like, I got these like moments where it was cool, but
to play off that a little bit, it's not like a bad twist to me. It is a twist though, that it doesn't like take you by surprise that there was going to be a twist. That makes sense. There's a lot of, like, it's got the Art Deco, it's got kind of the world unfolding like BioShock, kind of interconnected. It was sort of
if
like,
you even pay attention for 5 minutes, you know that there's going to be something.
I know. I saw the twist coming. I'm not saying I didn't. I'm just like, for me, I was hoping it wouldn't do that. I was hoping it'd be a real twist. I'm sorry for cutting you off, Medium.
Because it feels and looks like BioShock, and because it already feels like what we've already been saying, where it feels like the immersive sim to do all the immersive sim things, I was like, there's going to be a twist. There's going to be a rug pull at some point. So for some reason, that twist didn't do much for me personally. Not that it's bad or anything, but a little bit in your court where it's like, okay.
They didn't exactly handle the ending that well. It's underwhelming. Regardless of whether the idea of the twist is good or not, the ending feels anticlimactic. And I think they could have sold it a lot better at the end. The fact that it was a twist, they could have sold it better. So I would say the issue isn't the simulation twist trope, but is that if you're going to do that, sell it better. And I don't think they did. Maybe they just ran out of time, right?
I think there was budgetary, time-related issues.
It's already such a huge ass game, and I think Prey 2017 does a lot well. I mean, it does the immersive sim stuff really well as well. The leveling structure system of the upgrades and the powers are really well done. Very, very fun powers. It's got a kick-ass shotgun, especially when you upgrade it. It's got the map. The map is fucking genius. Because when you go out and you start exploring, and you're what do you think first? You think horizontal. You're trying to piece together how this map is. In that moment, after a couple hours, when you actually go out into space, and the first time you see that this is actually a vertical map, It's mind blowing. And then it has the gut system that takes you all the way through. It's got the exploration is great. There's so many cool little secrets to find. So much exploration and all the side missions. This is what I love about Prey. The side missions, all the stuff that you don't necessarily have to do. Almost every single one of them rewards you with neuromods.
Yeah.
And so you always feel good about going out and doing the extra stuff because it feeds into the upgrade system, and it's not for nothing.
But also, like, that is the story when all said and done. Like, everything that you don't have to do is what creates what's so special about the game. It's exploring that world. It's everything that you can do within it, how you do it. And even though these choices that are seemingly not important once you do reach the final credits, they're only they're important in the moment. They're important when you're doing it, but they're not important at the end, and that, that affects that replay value, I guess. But it's more this actually happened. All these things happen in some way, shape, or form. You don't know exactly how they happened, but all of it was real. It wasn't made to be a simulation. It was an actual simulation of real events. And so,
and that's
not how those things went down, which is why a sequel would be a twist. But the whole point is the entire thing is a thought experiment on morality and how you would do things in the situation when you think that they are real, but actually they're not. But regardless, you as a person are the same. Whether the stuff that happened is real or not real, you're the same at the end of it. So whether you're a piece of shit or a really good person, that's still you throughout the entire thing. But they gave you a situation in which you think is real to do all these things because you have the freedom in the sense of a sandbox or an immersive sim, as you typically do, but they put it in a way where there are stakes. And then when you find out that there never were stakes, and it was all just to see if this Typhon would react in a realistic or way, or if there is any kind of morality there, do they feel whatever. But it's not actually about the Typhon, it's about you, the player. It's about, that's the thought experiment. That it's about humanity, it's about morality, and it's just about what being human is. And that's the whole thing.
I can agree that it can definitely negatively affect the replay value. I think that's a valuable criticism as well, because replaying it all the way through to get another ending is not like an alternate ending is incredibly satisfying to get in Prey, right? I think it is a great one and done experience, and with replay on higher difficulties just for gameplay, I think it also has value. But I will say that I think that Prey's replay of the tutorial is uniquely brilliant. Because the opening tutorial is just so go into this room and crouch and do this thing, pick up a box, and you're like, this is lame. This is a lame ass video game tutorial. But then when you replay it and when you're like, oh wait, I know why they're putting me here, because they expect me to have these powers. And then the entire tutorial takes in a whole new context, which I think is really cool.
It's one of the greatest opening sequences in any video game, hands down, in my opinion. It's one of the greatest openings, even if it's not as effective the first time. But it's the same sense of the beginning of Doom 3 or the beginning of Half-Life or Half-Life 2, Once you've played it once, you already know what's going to happen, so it's less effective. You're like, oh yeah, I already know he's going to throw a can on the floor and want me to pick it up. It's going to happen already. Versus the first time I played Half-Life 2, I picked up the can and threw it at the guard, and the fact that I was even able to do that was mind-blowing at the time as a kid, right? I was a big Halo 2 guy, so when I got to Half-Life 2, I was like, damn, that's fucking cool,
Well, I think that's one of my big issues was just the opening blew my mind. It was really, really good. And then to just get to the ending where it's just not as good of a, because I didn't see the previews, I didn't see anything for it. So when I broke the glass, I'm like, oh my God, this is cool. And then I get to the end and it was like, oh, you're in a simulation again. And it's like, I'm like, yeah, but you already did this better. You did this better. And I understand the morality. I understand all the stuff because a lot of those choices were great, but at the end, you still get to the same ending. And I think it cheapens that feeling a little bit, because when I would have liked there to be more to it. I would have liked that there to be hints that it's this is maybe actually build on the character. You learn more about him as a character, and you're doing the morality. It would have been more of a deeper game, because it has deep moments, but and
you do get to learn about all the other versions of Morgan through January, December, a few audio, a few videos or whatever on the Looking Glass. You get some different things on computers and some conversations from other people from different points in time. So you get a lot of that. So I mean, you do get a fleshed out version of someone who, if you could consider them bipolar,
Yeah.
The-
You know what I mean?
the-
So you get all the different personalities.
The December path is so cool because the first time you play the game, December dies. Like the first time, like, December's going to die, right? And then you replay the game, and you're like, can I actually prevent this other robot from dying? And then you can follow an entirely different path that another memory of you left for you, and you can just leave and abandon the entire game. So cool. So cool. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I geek out about Prey. I'm sorry.
So, but yeah, anyway, that, and while I don't 100% agree with it losing its luster because of the ending, I think even like Raphael has stated that he wished that they could have done something more with the ending because of the way it ends. But I think it was a time or budget related thing of the reason that happened.
It had to be. It's a giant game.
Oh yeah.
You ever been in the right place but wearing the wrong thing? Ain't ever gonna happen again, brother, because you can now buy the sexiest apparel this side of a John Romero hair products line. Visit the Quad Damage Amazon merch store and get that shiz delivered on Prime.
Damn.
You're gonna look good.
I have something for you.
So for the previous guest questions, which isn't really the previous guest, but yeah. So Sam Marshall of DOSman Games is asking KingJiffyCoats, what is the
Wackiest.
What is the wackiest one-liner? Okay, hold on. I'm having a fucking stroke just reading this. Okay. What is the wackiest one-liner that you have ever come up with?
That's so much better. Good job.
Whatever the fuck that is, just killed me. Like, I lost a brain cell.
I don't know, dude, because I kind of just riff. So I just kind of say shit. I mean, anything that I said, that I had some like really, the way you were hitting the guitar riffs over there made me so wet. But it's like,
Beautiful.
I don't write scripts. I write like bullet points, and they're bullet points leading to my next joke. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And I just kind of come up with what's best there. If I had to think of like the best one-liner, I don't know, dude. I don't know. I had some good ones in this podcast. I think I've had some solid one-liners here. I don't know.
Do you have anything that maybe like you end up saying in multiple videos when you react a certain way?
Yeah.
Something
If
that's
a game's
become
good, I say it slaps clit.
Okay, well there you go. I think that works.
I do that intentionally. That's actually an intentional
Wonderful.
one-liner that I thought, because you hear like, it sucks dick a lot. It sucks dick, right? And I was like, why is there always too many? There's always too many dick jokes, dude. There's always too many dick jokes, not enough pussy jokes. So slaps clit is something I say a lot.
Put it on a t-shirt. Oh my god. Well, that was more of an answer than I was ever anticipating here. So, we do need to give out the Steam key for the Satan giveaway. So, our competition.
I have something for you.
When we had Brazen Skull on last week, competition ran for a week. Viewers that subscribed to us and commented their favorite DOSman games, they could win a Steam key. So our winner is Lucas Mancini. So Lucas, I'm going to respond to you in...
Congratulations,
Congratulations. Lucas. I'm going to respond to you in the chat, and then we'll find a way to give you a key that's not on YouTube comments, where someone can swipe it from you straight away. Just as we did with previous guests. We had to contact them privately.
All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for joining us for this rather lively discussion of mostly everything but Prey 2017. But we got in a couple jabs about that game that people like apparently and is good and still better than 2006. So now
Never played it. Never played it.
You're gonna get hit by like a bus on the way out of here, and it'll be instant karma.
And it'll be Shhkotsky is the one that's going to be driving it. So
okay, I'm just going to let that one set.
Do you know
because the real moral of the story is that they're not actually in competition and they're both really good. So just play both.
Yeah.
Compare them.
Valid.
I forgot to show this off.
Twist.
That is
you can't see it very well.
I see it.
Play 2006 though?
Maybe it's supposed to be 10.
Score just all the
It's
blue.
Prey 2006 and
Cool.
Prey 2017. So
Todd.
got that from
You can
2017.
stick
We
to
got
2006.
Bird of Prey for Prey 2006.
Nice. Yeah, well, thanks to Under the Mayo and Shhkotsky for joining us again, for coming back, for not running away in dread of the next time we might meet. We appreciate you all tuning in yet again.
No, I'm actually running away because my sushi's here, so I'm hanging up before you even say bye. Bye.
Bye. See you later.
just like that, he was gone, taking our hearts with him. And special, I guess, welcome to KingJiffyCoats for joining us and giving us his slightly demure reaction to the praise.
I didn't even get a whine about the weapons. I didn't even get a whine about the
trouble
weapons.
I'm going to have editing this tomorrow.
Sorry, it's all right, Jiffy man. Me and you can have just a one-on-one discussion on my other podcast, and we'll talk about the weapons there.
I would love to. Love to anytime.
Thank you all so much. And I'm pretty sure you know where to find Under the Mayo. But if you're looking for more of just Mr. Shhkotsky or Mr. KingJiffyCoats, we'll start with Shhkotsky. Where can we find you and the work that you do on the interwebs?
Well, I mostly post on my YouTube channel, which is called the Primordial Chronicles. But you can also find me on Twitter under Mr. Shhkotsky and on Blue Sky under Mr. Shhkotsky. Also, hire me to do some fire thumbnails, please. I need money to eat food.
On Fiverr. Yeah, he's done quite a few for me, and I think he's done quite a few for
exactly.
Deadforge as well, right?
Yeah.
I did one for Nth Review now, so...
That's for Sputnik 34.
I'll definitely be hitting you up in the near future.
Okay.
Yeah.
A man of many talents.
Yeah.
Mr. Jiffy, where can we pursue your illustrious career?
I think I'm on like everything, and it's all King Jiffy because it was a shitty nickname that Xbox allowed me to have back in like the 360 era. So I've just kind of rolled with that shit, and then I was like, "What am I gonna create a YouTube channel?" Well, I'm a fucking idiot, so go with King Jiffy. I don't want to learn new usernames, so that it's King Jiffy YouTube, King Jiffy Twitter. I think my Twitter might have @JiffyCoats, and then I think I got a Blue Sky. I don't know. And just I'm around, dude. I'm around. You'll see me crawling out of your bushes at night and smelling your feet or whatever.
Yeah,
so.
You're on Blue Sky.
I'm there.
Yeah, I'm looking down there now. KingJiffyCoats.
Are you in Robert's garden right now?
Yeah, dude. Actually, yeah, dude. He thinks he's chilling with it being all nighttime in old Queensland, but actually, dude, he's taking the buttons off. Let's go, dude. He can hear. I just made his bushes so shiny.
Well, everybody, if you want more of that, you know where to find him. All right, gentlemen, I'm Midnight Medium. You can find me on fucking YouTube, fucking Patreon, any other place with my stupid ass name. Robert, where can we find you?
Robert Yapp 80 can be found on x.com, formerly Twitter. Obviously, you can find us on Reddit at the Quad Damage Podcast. You can find us on x.com at the Quad Dam Podcast, and also the Blue Sky as well. We're on there under the same name.
Quad Dam, right?
Quad Dam, right?
Deadforge.
Just
anyway,
make
so
it
you
all
find me
simulation
on
stories.
X at Lord of the RPG, so Deadforge at Lord of the RPG. You can find me on YouTube at Deadforge, Patreon Deadforge, and I think that's all I have. Yeah.
Excellent.
So, as it is
Without further ado,
gotta make sure that we keep
on
booming.
Yes.
Quad Damage.